Hi guys, it's Garth Harris, Vice President of Product Innovation here at Cake, and welcome to our starter series for lead distribution. This is training number 1 of 4 training sessions where we're going to cover the fundamentals of lead distribution and our platform in general. Let's go ahead and kick off with our agenda. Alright, so as I mentioned, we have 4 sessions. This is the fundamentals. So we're going to be going over some key terminology and other things around the platform in general. And then in the next trainings to come, we're going to be talking about how leads on our lead distribution platform come into Cake. And then eventually we'll get into how we can sell leads to third-party lead buyers. And then ultimately we'll wrap up with some reporting and accounting features so that you can wrap everything up for reconciliation purposes and being able to invoice buyers, etc. All right. So the actual agenda that we have for training number 1 today is we're going to go through some key terminology. So when I talk about things like verticals and validation and lead fields, we know what we're talking about when we go to the platform. We'll be talking about the process of lead collection from the perspective that you are solely licensing our lead distribution platform. Now, we do recognize that some of our clients have licensed both elements of our platform, which means you do get to unlock a few pieces of functionality that are a bit unique. But we are going to be focusing the fundamental session on the under the aspect that we have just the lead distribution platform being licensed. We'll go through some basics of how to navigate Cake so you're comfortable with where things are. So when I say go to the action menu, you know exactly where to find that. We'll be going through security and permissions. So as you add employees to your business, you'll know how to set up their roles and make sure that they can only see what you want them to see. We'll go over some basic setup and admin tools. We'll mention some of the third-party integrations that we have specifically for lead distribution. And then ultimately we'll get into how you can access support, some of the services that we offer, and we'll give you a sneak peek of what training number 2 is about as well. All right, so first up is key terminology. To begin with, we have a little diagram on the right-hand side for you as a visual reference for how leads actually get into the platform when we talk about our lead distribution platform. So leads can be generated typically through an affiliate website where they are collecting things like first name, last name, email address, etc. This can happen on your own personal website as well. The point is that when the lead actually gets completed, there is an action that takes place called a server post that goes from one server to another server. And the secondary server is actually Cake. So Cake is collecting the lead upon that post. So again, the user fills out a form on some web form. The lead is collected at that point. And then the next step is that the lead is actually posted into Cake. Now, what happens from there is typically there's some kind of validation that happens to ensure that all of the lead fields are present, that the data is clean, and then once the lead actually makes its way into Cake, at that point, Cake takes over and usually finds the best possible buyer for that lead or buyers for that lead, depending on how you've set it up. So that is your visual reference for how leads funnel through our workflow. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the definitions on the left-hand side here. So the vertical is probably the most fundamental piece of our lead distribution platform. That is the starting point for the whole workflow. As a definition, it is a representation of the industry or the category of offers that you are working with. So this is the type of leads you are buying. So you could be buying mortgage leads or bathroom remodeling leads or any kind of finance lead, etc. This is how the vertical works because this is where you're going to define your actual lead fields, which takes us to definition number 2. So within the vertical, we have lead fields, and these represent things like name, email address, etc. And we do have basic lead fields baked into the platform for ease of use. And those are going to be the most commonly collected fields that you're going to be working with. But you can also add as many vertical fields as you'd like, depending on the vertical and the offers that you're working with. Advertisers, when it comes to the lead distribution side of the platform, are a little less relevant but they do represent the owner of the offer inside of Cake, because when the leads come in, they start with the vertical. That is the category of leads that you're collecting. But the offer is going to be a bit more specific to the actual leads you're collecting. So you could have a mortgage vertical, but then you may have a refinance offer. And then the advertiser typically in these situations are you. You are the owner of this offer because you are the ones collecting the leads that you are then going to sell off to another buyer. Affiliates in the platform are pretty straightforward across both our lead distribution platform and our affiliate management platform. They are the source of the traffic. So in this case, they are the source of the lead. So you typically are going to be buying your leads from an affiliate. In some situations, you actually may be the affiliate, which means that you actually are spending your own dollars to buy media that would then go to your own operated landing pages, in which case you'd be the affiliate. But in a lot of cases, you're purchasing leads from a third-party partner, in which case that's how we're going to define affiliate in the platform. Now, as affiliates are driving leads to your system on a particular offer, this is how we define a campaign. So a campaign is going to be that unique relationship between the affiliate driving the leads and the actual product that they are driving traffic for. So in this case, we had mortgage as the vertical, refinance as the offer, and now you have a third-party affiliate driving traffic to that offer. Therefore, they have a campaign. And the campaign is very important because that's where you can set payouts for your affiliate and also where you're going to generate the unique key that the affiliate requires to post the leads into your platform. Now, once the leads are in the system, the goal is to sell those leads. And you're going to be selling them to a buyer in the platform. So although we have advertiser as kind of the owner of the offer, the buyer is a separate entity altogether, and the buyer is going to be the purchaser of the lead. And the mechanism for purchasing those leads is through a buyer contract. So the contract is going to be the specific type of leads that this buyer purchases and the actual mechanism for getting the leads to the buyer. So the leads have to leave Cake in some way, and we use the buyer contract to do this. All right, let's go ahead and continue on our key terminology. So the lead itself, we call lead data. So this is the actual lead information, the first name, email address, that collection of leads is going to be that lead data. Lead collection, when we mention this in the training videos, this is just going to be the process of taking a lead into Cake. So whether you're buying a lead from an affiliate or whether you're posting a lead from your own website that you are operating, that is the process of lead collection. Now, there are opportunities to validate the lead as well. This means that you want to ensure that a field is going to be present. So you are going to require that first name is on every lead. That would be validating your lead, as an example. Lead distribution is the actual action of sending the lead to a buyer. So when Cake finds the best buyer or buyers to sell your lead to, we need a mechanism for getting that lead to the buyer, and we call that lead distribution. And lead monetization is going to be on the money side of the lead distribution. So we want to make sure that we are getting the most money for every lead possible. So we'll be talking through what tools you have at your disposal for ensuring that you are making the most money possible. All right, next up on our agenda is the actual process of lead collection. So lead collection enables you to capture lead data within Cake, to validate the lead quality, enrich that lead data possibly, and then ultimately sell that lead to a third-party buyer. Now, leads can come into Cake in one of four methods. As I kind of caveated before, we are going to be focusing solely on the server post method, which is the only method available to you when you license just the lead distribution platform. But if you happen to be also using our affiliate management platform where you're tracking clicks and therefore you have access to the cookie, you can also do things like browser post, etc. So server post is the action of one server sending lead data into Cake. So that's server to server posting of data. That's going to be typically happening when you collect the lead into your own personal database, and then your CRM or some software platform that you have on the back end is going to be delivering that lead to you. Now, this also happens if you are working with an affiliate using Cake. So that would be an example of server post as well, because their Cake server is posting the leads into your Cake server. And the server post method usually, or not usually, it will require an API key of sorts so that there is nobody posting leads into your Cake system that you don't want. Now, the next three, again, do rely on our affiliate management platform to be licensed. The browser post means that you actually have a user clicking on a Cake tracking link, redirecting to a landing page, and then from there, there's some script on that landing page once the user hits submit on the lead form. Now, that script is going to then take the lead and push it into Cake dynamically because we do have a cookie present and we can do attribution to the affiliate who drove the user to the website in the first place. Now, a browser AJAX post is essentially the same thing as a browser HTTP post, except we have the Cake validation, such as first name required, last name required, etc., living on the web form. So our validation from Cake software is going to be working in real time on your form through this AJAX script that we've developed. So that's another more advanced version of a browser post. Now, a session post is very similar to a browser post, except you're also including the Cake request ID into that post because you want to make sure that you have validation happening in the absence of cookies. So if you're familiar with what a postback URL is, that's a server method call intended for attribution in Cake. We can use very similar technology on a lead post into Cake as well. But again, these three are going to be required to use in conjunction with our affiliate management platform, but we're going to be focusing a lot on that server post method. Now, once a lead comes into Cake, we have this concept of lead queues. Now, there's quite a bit of words on the screen, so instead of trying to listen to me and read, we're just going to read together, and then I'll add some color along the way. So when leads are posted into Cake, the lead field validation at the vertical or the offer will process the leads to ensure quality. If a lead does not meet the criteria, such as the first name is not present, the lead will not sell to the buyer. But instead, it will be stored in one of these two lead queues determined by the lead field validation setup. Now, I do want to say as a caveat to that, you could have an affiliate driving traffic to one of your offers and they are posting leads to you. You can actually set it up so that every lead that you receive from this affiliate or even their sub-affiliate goes directly to one of these review queues or the scrub queue, even if the lead passed all the validation. So you just may want to have a workflow where all of your leads go to the review queue, even if everything passes validation, because you want to call the customer, for example, and you want to validate yourself. So review queue doesn't always necessarily mean that it doesn't pass validation. Sometimes that's just what our clients do because they want to incorporate the review queue into their workflow. So I just wanted to say that as a separate aside. So let's get into what is the review queue. It is a lead store that allows for manual validation or review of the lead fields to determine if the lead is valid and if it should be sold to a buyer. So the example here is that the email address was not filled out correctly, but there is a valid phone number that can be called to validate the lead and update the fields in order to be sold. So you can call the customer, you can correct the email address, and then from there, you can push the lead into the queue to be sold. So that's one workflow of using the review queue. Now the scrub queue, let's just read it. It's a lead store so that allows for invalid or fake leads that are not qualified to be sold to the buyer. So the example here is the name and the contact details are fake, and there is no method to make contact with a real person. So the scrub queue could also be considered your trash can of leads. It's your rubbish bin. This is where all of the bad leads go that you cannot monetize. If a lead is posted into Cake, but there are no available buyers for the lead to sell, the lead will be stored in the following lead queue. So these are good leads, and we're trying to sell the lead, but there's no buyer present, and that's called the queue. So all of your leads on a hosted offer, which we haven't got to quite yet because there are two different types of offers, we'll go through the queue at some point. So the queue is Cake's routing engine. This is where we are trying to sell the leads to the best possible buyer. All right, now we're gonna go into the basics of just navigating Cake in general so that you know where to access everything as we talk about them. So I do have some animations here that we're gonna go through that cover just the basics. So on the first one here, this is our Cake interface. On the far left, we have our main tabs. So clicking between the main tabs are going to change the main content that we see on the screen, and also subsequently change the sub-tabs that we have off to the right-hand side. So we clicked on advertisers, and now we have a list of sub-tabs that we can choose from. Now, sometimes depending on your screen, you may need a bit more space on your monitor. And so this little hidden vertical hamburger menu item here will actually move that screen left and right for you. Now, to access our support phone number and our ticketing platform and our knowledge base, go ahead and click on your name in the bottom left-hand side of the screen, and you'll get access to all of that. And the way that Cake works is based on this card-based platform. So it allows you to really multitask between, if I have to open up an affiliate card to change something there, and then open up a campaign for that affiliate, or update something about the account manager, Cake allows for these multiple cards to be accessed at one time so that you can multitask. And then ultimately, if you need to close everything down, we do have that button on the the top right corner of the screen, which allows you to just close all of those cards with ease. Now, the next thing we want to show you is our search. This is one of our most powerful tools, because if you're looking for not just an affiliate or a campaign, but you can also search for lead details as well. So as leads come into the platform and you sell those leads, Cake also acts as a very basic CRM in the sense that you have access to all of the leads and the lead data in case you ever need to change them. So I would recommend using the search engine for that as a part of the platform. Now, these three dots on the top right are called the action menu. This is where you can access most of the wizards in our platform. So if you need to add a new affiliate, or if you need to add a new offer, go ahead and access most of those resources within the action menu. So we're going to show you quickly just how to set up your Cake system to look and feel a bit more like your business. So within setup, we do have a section called custom appearance, where you can upload your own logos. You can change the name of your system. So this is all going into the white labeling component of Cake. And then again, we do allow for various logos to be uploaded depending on which portal you're talking about. So our affiliate portal has some various image sizes as well. And then you can also change the color scheme of your platform, again, just to make it feel a bit more like your business and just the colors that you guys typically use within your system. All right, I'd like to cover now the basics of our security in the platform and also this concept of permissions. Now, every user that you add into the platform, whether it's an affiliate manager, an account manager, or if you're a small business, oftentimes everybody gets added as an administrator because you need access to the whole platform. Whether you're small or large, we do have the capability of really defining each role in the platform to ensure that your users can only see the things as a management team that you want them to see. This also goes for you, as if you are an affiliate manager and you're watching this, you may not have access to certain things because of your permissions. It's not because it's accidentally missing in the platform. So if you do need access to something, I would talk to your management team, and they may be able to enable that for you through the permissions that maybe they're not familiar with. So the point of this slide really is to highlight the fact that within setup, we have an entire permissions area that allows you to control main tabs, sub-tabs, and even individual features within a card, certain points of data in a report. So it gets very, very specific. So this can be a very powerful feature, but also if you ever need help navigating this list of features here for your permissions, please let us know. Our support team is more than happy to navigate that with you. Now, from a security perspective, we have an entire security section within the platform, again, within that setup button on the bottom left of your screen. Now, there are a couple components to security that you should be aware of. First and foremost is actually going to be that bottom bullet point here called multi-factor authentication. So most of us are familiar with MFA. We have to use MFA for a lot of the platforms that we already use. Cake has this as an optional setting. It's not required. We don't require it of our clients, but if you do enable MFA, it does unlock a few items regarding API keys and things of that nature that you'll want to have access to. So in some regards, it is a requirement, but it's not if that's how you're going to manage your business. But there are things around being able to whitelist IP addresses specifically for inbound leads, or even for users being able to access the platform. And then you can also control the password strength, not just for yourself, but also for your partners as well. So if you have affiliates logging in, you can control the strength of password for them as well. All right, we're going to transition into a few more resources for you just to help configure your system, administer your system, etc. So we're going to jump into setup and admin tools. And the first thing that we're going to cover here are tags. Now, tags are a very powerful tool for being able to modify multiple entities at one time, or be able to report on a grouping of entities, such as a group of affiliates or a group of offers, etc. You can even use tags in our email tool as well if you ever want to send correspondence to a group of affiliates or a group of buyers, etc. So tags are a very powerful tool. We do have a quick animation that I'd like to walk you through on how to apply a tag, and then our example of actually reporting on tags. So let's just get into that real quick. So this is actually showing you how to open up an offer. And on the offer card, within the tags tab there on the right-hand side, this is where you can apply previously created tags, or you can just type in a new tag if you'd like, and just add it directly to here. So our example here is that this offer is a direct-to-consumer offer. There was no other way for us to apply that at the offer level. So tags are actually a great tool for that, because it's now a custom tag that you've applied now on the offer. And what you can do with that now is actually use one of the resources is our offer tag report. So instead of just looking at all of your offers filtered by affiliate manager or advertiser manager, etc., you can now get an aggregate of every offer in your system that shares that tag. So here we see all of our aggregated reporting details for that tag, and then we can drill in to see, okay, well, which offers have that tag. So obviously our example only has one, but that's okay. You can add as many of that tag to as many offers as you like. So let's go ahead and move on. The next tool on the admin side that we'd like to discuss is alerts. And alerts is also just another very powerful feature of the platform that allows you to get real-time email notifications when certain conditions are triggered. And so you can apply alerts across multiple areas of the platform, and we have a few examples for you here. So when it comes to actually managing your buyers, we do have some alerts that we can apply there, such as maybe your buyer's credit that you've given them is getting low. So you want to get an email alert of that, and then contact your buyer and say, hey, we're mid-month. You've almost used up your entire budget. Would you like to add some more budget so you can continue to buy in leads from us? So that's another great tool there. some security alerts, lead management alerts, campaign management alerts, etc. And I'll show you here in a quick animation of how you can actually subscribe to the alerts of your choosing. So we'll go ahead and click on your name in the bottom left-hand side of the screen here, and then click on My Contact Card. And this is going to be your information where you can also reset your password, etc. But we're going to go ahead and click on that Alerts tab. And this is going to open up all of the available admin-facing alerts that we have in the platform. Our example here is that I want to get an alert anytime an affiliate has requested to run one of our offers. So that's our campaign approval request. So that is just one example of applying for the alerts. All right, so email, again, is another tool in our platform. This is where you can create custom email templates, whether they're HTML or plain text, and then you can use those email templates for sending correspondence to affiliates, buyers, etc. One of the bullet points that's actually not here that email is also good for is when you are going to be selling your leads to your buyers, one of the ways or the methods that we support for getting a lead to a buyer is actually through email. So if your buyer does not have a sophisticated software platform or CRM platform for purchasing those leads, you may just want to send them an email because you're working, you're selling leads to just an individual, and email is good enough. And so that's another way that you can use our email template. So let's go ahead and walk you through how to create an email template and then actually send a test email to a group of affiliates. So you're going to access our email templates from Setup, and then you're going to click on the Email Templates subtab. And then from here, we're going to show you a list of all of the system templates that already exist and some of the custom email templates that we've already created. So to create a new one, just simply click on that button to launch the wizard, give your email template a name. If it is for a lead, you can click on that button there for is lead email, and that will actually allow you to use it for buyers. And then from here, you can choose whether or not the email is going to be HTML or not, depending on the viewability in your buyer's inbox or for the affiliate's inbox. And then from here, you just type in your email template, and you can use tokens that are on the right-hand side for being able to dynamically populate their name, their company, etc. And then go ahead and click Save. And we now have a new email template. So the next step is, let's go ahead and show you how to send emails to your partners. So we're going to click on that action menu on the top right screen. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you'll find that we have send emails. So we have all contacts, affiliates, advertisers, buyers, list managers. Our example here will just be a quick little email to our affiliates. So maybe this is, hey affiliates, we're about to launch a brand new offer next week. We just want to give you a heads up. There's lots of filters for choosing who actually receives the email. So you get to narrow down your list, which is really good. All right, the next tool that we want you to be aware of is the usage section. So this is actually going to be in setup, and then the sub tab called usage. Now this is going to be important more so for the managers to be aware of their contract and then how much of their usage they're actually using. So every Kate contract is going to come with a set of clicks or leads or how many leads you're attempting to post out to your buyers within your contract. So as you scale your contract, you can buy packages of clicks and leads, etc., to help you scale. And this section here is a great tool to just know where you are in the month. We'd like to bring some awareness to some of the third-party integration partners that we have as well, just to add a bit more value to Cake and also help bring that enrichment to maybe your leads or just have a better oversight of your system in general. So from an email list management perspective, there is an asterisk next to this one. This is for people that are actually in the email business, obviously, and you're managing suppression lists. Now, when you are buying leads directly from your affiliate partners or you are generating leads from your website, you may not be in the business of actually managing an email list, but in case you are, there are a few partners that we do integrate with: Ezepo, Optismo, and Unsubcentral. Now, lead validation is going to be very relevant for this training, and these are partners that we have native integrations with, which means that when leads come into Cake, we can actually make real-time calls to their platforms to ensure that the leads are coming in with all of the proper details. eHawk is one of them, Bright Verify and X Verify. They typically work primarily on email addresses. Now, one thing to call out is that these are separate companies that you have a contract with, but once you license their software, you'll put in your API key inside of Cake, and that's when the connection comes to life and works. Now, from an accounting and payment processing perspective, we do have the ability to actually make payments to your affiliate partners directly from within Cake. It's very nice to be able to just click that pay button, and then Cake automatically issues a payment to your affiliate through these integration partners. So we have Payoneer and we have Tipalti. Now, QuickBooks is our online integration so that you can push your invoices and the accounting details into QuickBooks so that you can manage your accounts receivables and your accounts payables directly from within QuickBooks. From a fraud detection perspective, now it is important to note that this is actually going to be more so on our affiliate management side of the house where you're tracking clicks. So this may not be relevant to you, but if you do have the affiliate management piece of our software licensed as well, then Anura and Forensic are two active partners as of today that we have where we're actually tracking click scores, conversion scores, and we're actually presenting that detail in the reports. As of when this video is being recorded, we do have an almost finished product with IP quality score as well. So they are a third integration partner. So pick your flavor of fraud detection, and Cake has a native integration with these partners. From a call tracking perspective, there are two primary partners that we deal with, Invoca and Dialogue Tech. This is where you want to be able to set up a conversion workflow through a phone call. And so you can actually have a phone number being distributed to your affiliate partners as a creative, in which case end users are calling that phone number, they're performing some kind of action on the phone call, and then once that conversion qualifier has been met, that you actually set up through these platforms, that's when they can make API calls to Cake letting you know, hey, a conversion just occurred on the phone, and here is the attribution back to the affiliate. So it's a very powerful tool as well in case you are in the call tracking business. We'd like to bring some awareness as well to the opportunities you have to reach our support team and also the services that are available to you in case you need a bit of help configuring your system or managing the platform in general. So from a technical support perspective, if you do need to reach us, probably the quickest way and the easiest way is just to send an email to support@getcake.com. That auto creates a ticket in our ticketing platform, and then from there, our support team will be corresponding with you over email. You may have a contract that includes phone support as well, in which case the phone number will be accessible inside of your platform with a PIN number. Otherwise, we are also going to be launching chat inside of Cake slowly but surely, so look out for that as well. Now, the best resource that we have for self-help is going to be our knowledge base. So there's a lot of content just like this in regards to videos, articles. We have a forum that I'll get to in just a second, but that will be support.getcake.com as the URL, and that's where you can access our knowledge base and all of the wonderful content there. Now, as I mentioned, if you do need some help configuring your system or managing Cake in any way, or even creating custom tools or custom reports or custom integrations with some of the platforms that you're using, Cake does have a professional services team as well that we would be more than happy to work with you on your projects that you have. Also, when you became a client, we added you to our distribution list for the customer newsletter, which is going to include a lot of great resources, including blog articles, recent product enhancements that we're making, other shout outs to other elements of our platform as well, our blog. So look out for the customer newsletter. There's a lot of great content that comes in there. And then lastly, we have our community forum, which is a place where you can read about recent platform enhancements. You can create new topics or threads, and the Cake community is there to help support you. To access technical support while you're within Cake, go ahead and click on your name in the bottom left, just right above setup there, and you'll be able to access our knowledge base or submitting a ticket, and that's probably the quickest and easiest way, besides just sending an email to support@getcake.com. If you're already logged into Cake, then just go ahead and click on your name there and you have your access. All right, so last, what is next? Training number 2, we are going to focus on the actual inbound lead collection. So we talked about this concept of lead collection. So this entire training is going to be focused on the configuration and setup of your platform to allow you to receive inbound leads either from yourself or from affiliates. So we're going to be actually going through the platform, creating things like verticals, talking about lead fields. We'll talk about validation. We'll create an advertiser and an offer and an affiliate, and then lastly a campaign, because a campaign is going to be that linchpin, that last thing that you need to be able to receive leads into Cake, and we'll go through a whole test as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this training video. We hope you found it to be useful, and we'll see you in training number 2.